Dang, you guys were fast. I'll hydrate once I get water. That's good read. This one. That's better than nothing, though. Oh, right, there's one more thing about the pods I should tell you. As quick as I could, I explained what the records had said about the pod's occupants and their cold sleep.
Cold sleep?
Are you suggesting that 3 of us were, until recently, cryogenically frozen?
If you can trust what we read, yeah.
Which of us are the pod people then?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It didn't say who they were, or even when they were frozen.
So this cold sleep, that means they basically froze the body solid, right? Not like how a bear or something hibernates where it just slows way down.
Yeah, I think so.
So what would happen to the heart?
What?
Wouldn't it stop when you were put into a cold sleep?
Your heart stops. Your bracelet comes off.
Oh. So if we go into cold sleep, our bracelets would come off.
Then we can just defrost ourselves right away.
You said there were 3 pods, right?
We'd only need to do it 3 times for the 9 of us. Uh-huh.
I imagine that will work for you, but perhaps not so much for me.
The armor. Nah, Reed, that's definitely a good thing. Now you have more cards to collect.
Don't worry. I'm sure we'll figure something out. We should go have a look at any rate. We'll be able to come up with a plan once we know more.
Of course.
What? What do you mean the cold sleep function doesn't work?
I'm sorry.
You don't have anything to apologize for, Luna. Zero Senior must have just locked it down.
But when Clover and I were here, it worked.
Yeah, I remember checking it.
Then that bastard set this up. Oh, that's low.
It is not pleasant, but consider this. We have seen how thorough Zero is. Would he really have left such an obvious loophole?
Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. If Zero Jr. heard me, he could have shut it off.
Whatever the case, it is an unfortunate outcome.
Unfortunate? Really? You sure? Aren't you just a little bit relieved? After all, we were gonna get our bracelets off while you were stuck with yours.
How could you say that? I would never be so petty as...
Before Kay could finish, the announcer's voice echoed through the facility.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Time's running out. We should get back, guys.
I'm staying here. I can't leave Quark.
Are you nuts, old man? You're a solo. Luna and Phi could kill you.
Yeah, I know I've only got 1 BP.
Exactly. If you don't vote, you'll default to ally. All they have to do is pick Betray.
We won't. You staying here won't change our vote. Right. We always intended to choose ally. Tenmyoji staying here is just another reason for us to stick to that plan.
Luna's gotta be my favorite character.
Luna has the same number of BP as you, Tenmyoji. Normally, the safe plan would be to choose Betray. Since you will be unable to betray them, then Phi and Luna can choose to ally without worrying about their own points.
Yes.
Well, there you go. I trust Phi and Luna. I'm sure they'll choose ally.
Sounds good. Okay then, Tenmyoji, you take care of Quark.
You think I need you to tell me that? I won't take my eyes off him for a minute.
Come on. We don't have much time left. We need to go.
Back at the Flore warehouse, we open the AB rooms.
Four minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Alright, Clover. We should probably head in too.
Okay. Sigma, do you remember what I said back in the other warehouse?
Yeah. You told me we should betray Quark since we might not get another chance like this. Right?
Yeah. Can I, take that back?
Huh?
I changed my mind a little bit after talking to Tenmyoji. I think we should choose Ally.
Hey, that's more than just a little bit. That's like someone trading in a Shih Tzu for a German Shepherd. What the hell happened with you two? Did he say something to you?
I can't tell you.
What? Why?
I just can't. You'd laugh if I did anyway.
I won't laugh.
Really?
Promise.
Well, I still can't tell you.
Hey, come on.
I promised. I told Tenmyoji I wouldn't tell anybody.
Alright, fine. I won't ask about it again. But Tenmyoji doesn't really have anything to do with this, right? Opponent is Quark.
No, he does matter. Quark is really important to Tenmyoji. If we betray Quark, we're betraying Tenmyoji. Come on, don't you remember? When we were going into the red, blue, and green doors, Tenmyoji said something.
I didn't say there wasn't anyone I trusted. There's one person. Clover. Just know that you'll keep him safe.
I can't betray somebody who'd say that about me.
You seem pretty ready to betray him back on floor B.
That's because I didn't know who he was.
Oh, so you're saying you know who Tenmyoji really is?
Well, if what he told me was true, yeah.
One minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
I think I am right. Tenmyoji must be the first game's main character. Which then, most likely, the ones that were Cryo Pros would be Sigma, Clover, and Alice?
Please, choose Ally.
You aren't going to try and vote yourself?
If I try, you'll just throw me off, right? I don't think I'm strong enough to fight you. So...
Alright. With that, I turned to face the voting machine. The question was, what would I do? Ally or betray? Just as Clover had said, betraying Quark was like betraying Tenmyoji. That wasn't even taking into consideration that Quark was just a kid. And he was infected with a deadly disease that would almost certainly kill him if we didn't do something. How could I betray someone like that? Only a monster would take advantage of a helpless child for their own gain. On the other hand, what Clover had said in the warehouse on floor B was true. It was unlikely that I'd get a chance like this again. If I choose betray, then I'd have 9 BP. I would be able to escape this godforsaken hellhole.
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
So what would my choice be? What would I do? Ally or betray? I choose
3, 2, 1.
Continue my
Round
streak.
2 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
What did you choose, Sigma?
You didn't see me push the button?
No?
Huh. Well, you'll know in a moment. Let's go. I gave her a light pat on the shoulder and headed toward the wall where the results would be displayed.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Wow, Korg allied. Who would have thought? Wow, next round technically 4 people could get out. 6 of us. No, probably 5 at most.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
So you chose Ally, huh?
Yeah. Cork is sick, a kid, and unable to vote. I couldn't bring myself to betray someone like that.
Thank you.
No need to thank me. I only did what anyone would have. So you guys chose Ally too, huh?
Of course. Tenmyoji had only one BP left, and he was guaranteed to vote Ally. So there's no way we could betray somebody in that position. If we had, then he'd...
Yeah, you didn't have much choice. Alice K and Dio, on the other hand, seem to have had a less pleasant round.
Hey, what the hell is your problem? You're either crazy or just an asshole. Were you trying to kill me?
No, nothing like that.
Well then, what was it like? If we'd voted Ally,
You would be dead. The needles in your bracelet would have activated, killing you.
See? That's exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't think there was any way in hell you guys would choose Ally, not with Alice's BP at 1. The only way you could possibly vote was Betray. Picking Ally when I knew you guys would pick Betray would have been suicide.
you can't die. You've got 6 BP.
Well, maybe not immediately, no. But I would have been signing my own death warrant. Heck, not just mine. Everyone except Kay's.
What?
Didn't you think it through? Your vote was always gonna be Betray. Let's say I was a raving lunatic and picked Ally. What would happen to Kay's BP?
6 plus 3 would make 9.
See? Then it'd be game over. Life over. He'd open the number 9 door and blow this popsicle stand. And that'd leave us twisting in the wind, living out the rest of our miserable lives stuck in this place. You see? That's why I chose Betray. I did it to save all our necks, including yours.
Alice gritted her teeth and scowled fiercely at Dio, apparently trying to think of a rebuttal, before finally snorting indignantly and stalking away. Shortly thereafter, the warehouse was filled with the rumbling sound of the door sliding shut.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round. Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set limit on usage of the star keys. The ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the players wish to open them.
As many times as we want, huh? Then that means...
We can play the AB game as many times as we want, right?
Hey, didn't Zero Jr. say something about this?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically. The pair and solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Yeah, you did. Can you guys all show me your bracelets? I want to see what all our colors and groups are this time. Within moments, a series of wrists were extended for me to examine. I see. Luna and Clover are a cyan pair, and Fi and Alice are a magenta pair. The remaining three are all solos. Kay is red, Dio is green, and I'm blue. So how are the groups supposed to work for the next round? I think the next doors are going to be those white ones down in the Floor B warehouse.
Yeah, I heard about those. Alice told me about them while we were here waiting for you and Clover. I think I've got them figured out.
Yeah, so lay it out for us. How are the groups going to shake out this time? Fi nodded and began to explain. Option A. Tenmyoji and Quark yellow pair up with me blue to open one door. Fi and Alice magenta pair up with Dio green to open another door. Luna and Clover cyan pair up with Kay red to open the last one.
Oh? Is there only one option?
Yes. No other combinations would be able to open the secondary doors. Admittedly, Tenmyoji and Quark aren't here for us to check, but I'm sure they're the yellow pair. If they weren't, then Sigma would be stuck without anybody he could pair up with.
Oh, God. I never thought I'd have to put up with Dio again.
You just didn't think hard enough then. Sooner or later, everybody puts up with Dio. Wait.
Dio. He is certainly a character.
So, what should we do now? It looks like we have a lot of time until the primary doors open.
Yeah, about 80 minutes.
I'm worried about Quark's condition. Those pods can't cure Radical 6. He still needs help.
Well, we don't have anything to lose. So we might as well look for that medicine. Accelavir, right?
Yeah. What about the rest of you? Oh, I'll help.
As will I.
Me too.
Fine. I guess I can help.
What about you, Sigma?
Of course I'll help. What kind of a jerk wouldn't?
Okay. We should split up and search.
After some discussion, Dio and Kay were assigned to the pantry, Luna and Alice to the treatment center, and Clover, Fi and myself to the pressure exchange chamber.
Shall we regroup in the Floor B warehouse 10 minutes before the doors open?
We all nodded. Kay turned to Alice and Luna.
You are going to the treatment center, correct?
Yes.
Then please remember to tell Tenmyoji where we intend to meet and when.
Okay.
You must also remember to bring Quark with you. I am concerned about removing him from the pod, but it can't be helped. Without Quark's bracelet, Sigma and Tenmyoji will be unable to open the secondary door.
Right.
Good. Looks like we got all that straightened out. Let's go.
With a final nod to one another, we split up, each team heading in a different direction. What do you mean? We all have to get to the Floor B at least. So, this is the pressure exchange chamber.
No, this is the prep room. There are 2 levels. The actual pressure exchange chamber is downstairs.
How do you know that?
Alice told me. She was one of the people who investigated this room.
Did you talk to her when you were waiting for us back in the warehouse?
Yeah.
Well, let's head downstairs then.
Good idea.
So this is the real thing.
Seems like it.
Why do they have something like this here?
Well, this is just what Alice told me, but
Apparently, the pressure inside the facility was a lot higher than the pressure outside. That was part of a system designed to keep the virus from getting in. Did mean, however, that we'd need to go through a decompression process in order to get outside.
remember all those suits along the wall of the prep room? Those keep you from getting infected. We won't even be able to enter the pressure exchange chamber if we don't have them on.
I see. Whoa, 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 whoa. Then that newspaper article was right.
Unfortunately, that seems pretty likely.
So the air out there is teeming with Radical 6.
Yeah.
Something's been bothering me.
What is it?
Aren't you saying that if we put on those suits, we can go into the pressure exchange chamber and go outside, right?
Oh. No, we can't do that. The door beyond the pressure exchange chamber is locked up tight.
Damn it. Just one door between us and freedom.
Well, if you look at it that way, it's the same as the number 9 door.
Okay, yeah, but...
Whatever. We need to be focusing on finding that Accelavir. Quark needs it.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll go look around upstairs. You two take this floor, all right?
Got it.
Okay.
We looked everywhere we could think of, but turned up nothing. Eventually, I couldn't keep my mouth shut any longer. Hey, what do you think the deal is with this stuff about the world being infested with some crazy virus? The pandemic seems like it would make the news, but I don't remember hearing anything. Wait a minute, you mentioned it, didn't you? Back when Dia was asking questions. We were in the infirmary. It was right after Quark lost it.
Have any of you guys heard anything about any sort of viral pandemic?
Well, no. But...
And then Alice said...
I have heard rumors about a virus being used as a bioweapon.
So what's the rumor she was talking about? I got the feeling you and Alice were talking about the same thing. Clover, what do you know? What are you and Alice anyway? I heard you guys belong to some sort of organization, but what is it? Clover was quiet for a long time. She bit her thumbnail and looked down at the floor. Then finally she lifted her head and met my eyes.
fine. I think I can trust you. Just don't tell Alice, okay?
Alright.
Promise?
Promise. Clover nodded and began to talk. I listened with rapt attention, at a complete loss for words. Here is what she said. They couldn't have her voice this, heck. Alice and I are agents of the SOIS, which is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Defense. SOIS stands for Special Office of Internal Security, and we're an elite intelligence division that investigates potentially disruptive or dangerous elements such as domestic or foreign terrorists, radical political splinter groups, and religious organizations with extreme agendas that could pose a threat to the state of state, or citizenry. Our existence hasn't been made public, so there are only a few people who even know we exist. You're probably wondering how I even got involved in something like that, huh? Well, it started when I met Alice. I told you that I've played the nonary game twice before, right? Well, this was after the second time, so about a year ago. We'd just escaped and we were all stuffed into this SUV barreling across the desert. I was driving. Yeah, that's a bad idea still. And that's when I saw her. Alice. She was standing next to the road with her thumb out. She was already working for the SOIS, and she'd been on her way to the building we'd been trapped in as part of her investigation. But on the way there, her car had broken down. We offered to give her a ride, of course. After she got in, we started talking. It turned out that Alice had gotten a tip that the terrorists she was after were in the building we'd been trapped in. We couldn't see how us playing the nonary game had anything to do with the terrorists. But Alice had a suggestion. Maybe the two people who trapped you in there are the terrorists. That didn't seem very likely to us, but we were chasing after them anyway, so we decided to bring Alice with us. Unfortunately, we didn't find them. As far as we know, they're still out there now, on the run. Anyway, we were taken back to the SOIS headquarters and put into custody. I guess they thought there had to be some kind of connection between us being kidnapped and the terrorist group they were investigating. But they must not have found anything, because after a few days of questioning, they let us go. We all went home and returned to our lives. Probably on someone's lap because that car was packed. But things didn't go back to the way they'd been. My mom got real worried about me and my brother since we'd gotten kidnapped twice now, so she hired bodyguards for us. Oh, I haven't told you about my brother, have I? He's super awesome, for one. And he was in both of the last two nonary games, too. Hi, Ghost. Whoa. A Vera? I didn't even know Vera was streaming. What were you playing, Vera? World of Warcraft. What a nerd. Hardcore WoW. How was that, Vera? How you doing? How was stream? You're hungry, go eat. Nom the food. I'm not too bad, I'm pretty tired though. And he was in both of the last two nonary games too, so anyway, we'd been grabbed twice. But the people behind the two nonary games were totally different. That didn't matter to my mom though, so after that all these huge men in black suits followed me and my brother everywhere. It was awful. We were always being watched. People would look at us funny because we were being followed around by a bunch of creepy looking guys. I couldn't stand it. Just when I thought I'd finally be free, all that was waiting for me was another kind of prison. Vera got the zoomies. Run everywhere. The only time I was really happy was when I was hanging out with my brother. So we were talking it over one day and we decided to leave. Like, run away. So we did it. After that, we lived on our own. I worked in a cafe and he composed music. He plays the harp and he started writing this kind of new agey music. It got kind of popular, so we didn't have to worry too much about surviving. Sometimes he'd play at little venues like coffee houses and stuff, and his fans would show up and listen to him play and cry. Or some of them would meet on their own and recite stuff from the book he'd written and play his songs. I know that sounds kind of like weird and culty, but they just do that stuff on their own, okay? My brother doesn't have anything to do with it. I don't know if I like her mentioning culty. Makes me think maybe he became the leader of the cult that Dio's in. Vera, I'm surprised you're playing WoW. I thought you were taken in by Final Fantasy. Anyway, we did that for a while, and then one day Alice showed up. I need your help, she told us. We need people who can do what you can do. Playing both? Dang, I can't find the time to play one MMO, but you're gonna play two? Vera just built differently. So we went to the location she gave us, and it turned out to be the headquarters of the SOIS, where they'd taken us after the second non-raid game. They put us in a room with about a dozen or so other people who were all about the same age as us. A bunch of them looked familiar too. It only took us a moment to realize how we knew each other. They were the kids from the first non-raid game. We were all excited to see each other again, and we were hugging and shaking hands and stuff. And then Alice walked in. The whole room went quiet. She walked up to the podium and looked around the room, making eye contact with each one of us. Right now, a terrorist organization is preparing for a major attack. They plan to trigger a viral pandemic. If they succeed, they will strike a massive blow against all of humanity, not just any one country. It's possible that we as a species will die out completely. No problem, Vera. You take care of yourself. Eat all the yummy food. Drink some water too. Gotta stay hydrated. Thank you so much for the raid. We are doing our best to prevent this, but we need your help. Dang, a whole pizza. I had pizza tonight too. It was pretty good. You are what we call espers. You have the ability to access the morphogenetic field. We need that. I'm guessing you don't know what any of that is, but basically we can do this thing that's kind of like telepathy. I mean, it isn't really telepathy, but that's probably the closest thing, okay? Espers can resonate their consciousness with another person through this thing called the morphogenetic field. The purpose of the first non-raid game was to research that ability, so they kidnapped kids who had the potential to do it and threw them into the game. Alice had gathered up all the kids from that experiment. Well, I mean, it had been 9 years since it happened, so we weren't really kids anymore. Anyway, everybody she'd brought in was an Esper. That included me and my brother, of course. I bet you think I'm just making all this up, huh? I don't blame you. It is pretty crazy. Nah, devour it, Gizmo. Okay. It is ad time though, so I'm gonna run that quickly. So feel free to get up, stretch, grab a drink, and we'll be back shortly, everyone. Alright, welcome back. I mean, I was even starting to forget I could do that stuff. So when I heard Alice's story, I was like, screw that. I was trying to move on with my life, and now some shady government creeps wanted me to use some weird ability I had for them? No way. Wasn't even sure I could do it anymore. Some of the others felt differently though, and they told Alice they'd do it. It was a job after all, and most people wouldn't turn down a salary like that. Oh right, I forgot to tell you, she told us how much they'd pay us if we helped. It was a lot, more wealth than you can imagine. But I was still totally against doing it. My brother told me he'd go along with whatever I decided, so I decided we were leaving. A couple days passed, and then Alice showed up at our apartment. She didn't waste time. The people behind the first nonary game might have been part of the terrorist organization Alice and the SOIS were after. Wasn't that she asked something that I might want to know more about? That got me curious. My brother too. But the clincher was what Seven said to us. He was one of the guys that got abducted with us for the second nonary game. She called him on her phone right then and there and handed it to us. You guys are the only people who can do this. We don't know where Junpei is. He's gone off to travel the world looking for Akane. I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Please, just do me a favor and help Alice out. Junpei, like Seven, another participant from the second nonary game. Akane, one of the people behind the second nonary game. Seven was a Japanese policeman, which was probably how Alice got in touch with him. Anyway, that did it. My brother and I agreed to join the SOIS. For the next couple months, all we did was train. Half of the time it was general knowledge and technical skills an SOIS agent needed, and the other half was learning to strengthen our Esper abilities. They'd actually known about Espers for quite a while, and had a lot of techniques that helped us get better and stronger. After several months of hard work, we were finally ready for our first field missions. Mine was an infiltration. My brother stayed at the base, so I could relay information back through him. I was supposed to sneak into a research facility posing as one of their workers and then use the morphogenetic field to transmit what I found back to my brother. But everything went wrong. It was a trap. The whole research facility was fake and I got captured. Alice had to come and rescue me. I'd been sending information about the inside of the facility to my brother, and Alice used that information to come and find me. As soon as she got there, she picked me up and carried me out. I was relieved and happy to be alive and free, but I also felt ashamed and miserable. While she was carrying me back out, I started to cry. She was just so cool and I wasn't. I wanted to be just like her. So from that day onward, I did everything I could to be more like Alice. Our infiltration ended in failure, but we did manage to get something useful. In fact, we were able to figure out where their headquarters was. The directors decided that December 25th, 2028 would be the day we would strike. This time I promised myself we wouldn't screw it up. I was finally going to get some answers about something that had been with me for most of my life. But then on December 22nd, 3 days before the raid, Alice and I were attacked by people in gas masks while we were going over our plans. And when you woke up, you were in the warehouse?
Yeah.
All of that talking seemed to have tired Clover out. She sighed and her long hair swayed as she moved. Hey, I've got a few questions.
What are they?
Well, first off, your, powers, I guess. I'm guessing you can't use them right now?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why. I've been sending my brother messages ever since I woke up, but
No response?
yeah. If there was another Esper here, they could make me stronger. But that's just wishful thinking. Wait.
What?
Well, if there's someone else who's stronger than me, then they kind of absorb my powers. Maybe... No, never mind. That's probably not it.
Right, whatever. I have some other questions, so... Moving on. I think I understand what Alice was talking about now. They were trying to spread that virus, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So who are they?
Well, I can't tell you that.
What? Why not? You told me all that other stuff, but this is too much?
Well, Alice would be mad at me.
I already told you I wouldn't tell her.
But...
Fine. Let me rephrase. When are they going to do it?
Well, if we knew that, we wouldn't have gone to all that trouble.
So you don't know?
No. All we know is soon.
But that could mean just about anything.
Yeah. It could be next week or next month or even next year. Or it could have happened already.
Wait, you mean they might have already released the virus?
Wouldn't that make the most sense? Like, how about this room? Or that newspaper article? And the 3 people who were put in cold sleep.
Are you saying you, me, and Alice were frozen and the pandemic happened while we were on ice? Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Nobody else has heard of Radical 6 either.
Maybe they're lying.
Really? All 6 of them?
Well, if Kay really does have memory loss, then it's only 5. Quark is out too.
So you're saying Tenmi, OG, Dio, Phi, and Luna are all lying? I guess they are a little suspicious.
Right?
And what's their motive?
For lying? How would I know?
And what's the motive for a terrorist organization to start a pandemic?
I heard it was something about purifying the unclean?
Purifying the unclean.
Oh, unclean, 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 unclean.
What? What are you doing?
Shut up! Just hold on a minute. I'm this close to remembering. Unclean, clean, een.
She leapt up suddenly, excited.
Neostigmine!
Neo, what?
Did you forget it already? I'm talking about this stuff!
As she spoke, she pulled something out of her pocket. It was the injection gun, complete with a vial of medication. Oh, right, I remember that. It was in the safe in the treatment center, right?
Yeah!
I didn't have any idea what it was, though, so I gave it to you.
Exactly!
Are you saying you've heard about this neostigmine stuff before?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just remembered.
You remember?
My brother told me about that. Neostigmine is a type of colon esterase inhibitor.
Okay, what's that mean?
That means it's a sort of antidote for tubocurarine.
Sorry, but I still don't get it.
How easy do I have to make it?
Talk to me like I'm 5, please.
Ugh. Okay, fine. I'll start at the top, alright? The stuff I've got in here is neostigmine, which counteracts the muscle relaxant tubocurarine. Following me?
Tubocurarine is the poison in our bracelets, right?
Right. It's the second thing we get injected with if we're penalized.
First, is this over real? Which put you to sleep. 9 minutes later, the tubocurarine is injected, numbing your respiratory muscles. I guess you could say it'll really take your breath away.
So you're saying this neostigmine keeps it from working?
Yes! Oh my god, how many times are you going to make me say it?
So we can just inject ourselves with this if we get penalized.
Yeah! We don't have to die. We're gonna be okay. We can only pull the trigger once, though.
What do you mean, Ghost? That means we can only use it on one person.
Yeah.
Well, it's still good news. This means one of us can break the rules once. Like, let's
The best way to use it would be for sneaking through the number 9 door. If somebody gets 9 points, they can open it, right? With this stuff, somebody who doesn't have 9 points could still leave with them.
I mean, that's what you do when someone doesn't understand.
Anyway, I'm gonna go tell Alice.
What? Hey, Clover, wait. Clover. It was too late. Clover was already on the lift and gone. Damn. I was, I think, understandably upset. With no stairs, my only choice was to wait for the lift to come back down. Soon as it was back, I jumped on and headed upstairs. Bye. Where did Clover go? Bye. Can you hear me? She didn't say anything, just stared at me with her mouth half open. Her eyes seemed slightly glazed and her body was unnaturally stiff. Fi? I grabbed her shoulder and shook her gently. Slowly she raised her arm, fingers drooping limply from it. She gestured toward the exit that led away from the warehouse. That way? She went out that door? Fi's only answer was a slow, shallow nod. Right, got it. Thanks. Well, I was gonna say, we're just gonna leave her? She definitely seemed in a bad state. I headed for the exit, then paused. You look pretty tired. Get some rest, alright? Really? Still no response. There was something odd about her, but catching Clover seemed like more of a priority. Terrible. I turned back around and jogged out the door toward the treatment center. I don't like Sigma. Why would he do this? Huh? This is weird. Where is everybody? I'd assumed Alice would be in the treatment center, so Clover would have gone there to find her, but the room was empty. Luna and Tenmyoji were gone too. They'd left Quark, and the readout on his pod said his vital signs were still normal. As far as I could tell, he was still asleep. Fine. Guess it's time to go look somewhere else. I made my way out of the treatment center. Um... What the hell? What is going on here? I can't find anybody. Every single room is empty. Wait, there's still one place I haven't checked. The infirmary. I can't wait to find everyone dead in the infirmary. It was Ghost with the knife in the infirmary. I ran into the room and stopped short. I might as well have run into a brick wall. My chest tightened so much I could barely breathe. No. What happened? I felt my whole body convulse, whether from terror or nausea, I couldn't tell. My legs went limp and I crumpled to the floor. Something sticky pressed against the palm of my hand, and I looked down to see blood. A vast, warm pool of fresh blood stretched out across the room, lapping at my legs and hands. Why? This can't be real. How could... Oh. Okay, what'd you do? In the middle of the lake of blood, like an island of flesh, were bodies. They were a bloody tangle of lifeless limbs and dead eyes, with too much blood and chaos for me to tell who was who. Had they sliced themselves open or stabbed one another? I couldn't tell. All the blood. Too much blood. Whatever they'd done, it was clear what tool they'd used to do it. A scalpel lay in the blood next to them, its handle and blades streaked with gore. This was how they had died, this tiny blade. Oh God. This is it. It's all over. This is how it ends. That's right. I have to end it. This nightmare will finally be over. Time to wake up. My fingers scraped across the floor as I picked up the scalpel. I lifted it slowly, carefully to my neck as if someone were guiding my hand with theirs, and drew it across my throat. Goodbye. Clover and, excuse you, ends are supposed to be somewhat okay. Someone escapes. That's what Radical 6 does to them. Your vision starts going blurry. Time starts slowing down a bit. And then you end yourself. Or attempt to in a Quark's case. Yeah, pretty much, but the time for it to hit them all changes radically. Okay, let's go betray Quark. I'm gonna skip past the dialogue.
Sigma, do you remember what I said back in the other... Yeah, can I changed... I think we... I can't... I just keep laughing. Really? Well, I told 10... No, Quark is... If we be... Come on, when we were going...
I didn't say Clover. I just know.
I can't be true. That's because... Well...
1 minute remains.
Please, choose... If I try, I don't think so.
Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1.
I'm guessing K is okay because he has the armor on. More and more, K is looking like he might be Zero Senior. Where was he? That's a good question. He was just kinda gone. The fact that we searched everywhere and couldn't find him. But I mean, it is a big place. Well, we're a bad person this time.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
What did you choose, Sigma?
You didn't see me push the button?
No.
Huh. Well, you'll know in a moment. What you want to do after that is up to you. You can come with me if you want, or you can stay here. Your choice.
That's as good as saying you chose betray.
I grinned and headed toward the display.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Yippee! Freedom!
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
What did you do, Clover?
Sorry. It wasn't me.
Sigma, huh?
Yeah.
Care to explain this, then?
What's there to explain? Exactly what it looks like. I'm getting out of here.
What?
Are you going with him, Clover?
When they all turned to look at Clover, I made my move. My feet pounded across the metal floor of the warehouse as I ran for the number 9 door.
Hey, wait!
He'd have to do better than shout if he wanted to stop me. It was closer. I was almost there. I took one last running leap. and slammed into the wall, the unlocking device right in front of me. With a yell of triumph, I threw the lever down. The door began to open. A heavy metallic grinding noise filled the room.
Shit. That son of a bitch actually did it?
His voice sounded almost surprised. I turned to face him. Sorry, but it looks like this is goodbye.
Sigma.
Don't worry. I'll go to the police as soon as I get out and come back with help. I'm not going to just leave you all here to die.
Don't give me that shit. I know a liar when I see one.
Really? Maybe you should get your eyes checked.
Are you guys just gonna let him run off like this?
No way. I can't allow that. He took advantage of a sick kid. He's just a coward.
Agreed.
I also agree.
That's it then. Let's get him. Ready?
Yeah, he's toast.
Just leave it to us.
Hey now, don't do anything you'll regret. This door only opens once, you know. You stopped me there.
Give it up! Charge!
Shit. I spun back around to face the door. There it was right in front of me, freedom. I leapt for it, or at least I tried. It happened in the blink of an eye. Suddenly my cheek was being pressed against the cold steel floor of the warehouse.
The number 9 door has been opened.
Okay, it's about ad time again, so I'm gonna run it quickly. So feel free to get up, stretch, grab a drink, and we'll, see what happens to Sigma shortly. Hmm. Alright, ad's over.
It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Shit. Let me go. Let go of me, goddammit. I could feel something huge, heavy and metal pressed against my back. Kay had to be holding me down. I flailed and kicked, but it didn't do any good. What are you doing? You're just killing yourselves. The door only opens once if I don't.
Go, Clover.
Huh?
You're the only one of us with 9 BP. Nobody else can get out.
But
This is an order from your commanding officer. You are to escape from this facility. Once you've accomplished that, call for help.
that's...
Stop complaining and go. If that door closes, it's all over. None of us will get out of here alive. Leave!
The door had already begun to close. The space was narrowing quickly, but was still wide enough for a single person to make it through.
Fine. You didn't leave me much choice.
I couldn't see what had happened, but I heard enough to guess. Alice had shoved Clover through the door. Looking up, I could see Clover's feet just beyond the doorway.
Alice! Go! Call for help! I'm counting on you!
Alice! No! I can't!
Well, you're gonna have to, Clover.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
I'ma enjoy it for sure. Bad end. Game over. Yippee! uh... Gizmo giving stuff away. Dang, no cyan red yet. Also, cyan green doesn't look like it's unlocked. You're fine. Sure, we'll do this one. Shit, they're not here.
Maybe they did go through the door, like Kay said.
With Quark's bracelet?
Or
what? Oh, come on, man. You better not give me that maybe they're already dead crap. I got enough of it from Dio. Interesting. You've got to be kidding me. This isn't funny, Phi. If you're right, then UK, Quark, and I are the only people still alive in here.
Hey, lay off. I want to believe they're alive too. But
We heard a noise and turned.
I apologize for keeping you.
did you get Dio's bracelet?
Well, technically, yes, but...
Huh?
Best you just see it. This is what I found in Dio's pod.
What?
What the hell?
I assume whoever murdered Dio did this.
But why? There's no point.
I can't say for sure, but if I were to guess...
Chromatic doors have opened. Five minutes remain until chromatic doors close.
With a bracelet like this, I doubt we can get past the secondary door.
That means Kay and I will...
Oh no. Shit. You're gonna...
When the time comes, those 3 doors will automatically close. If anyone is left outside after they close, they'll be penalized.
I see. That's what they wanted. Whoever killed Dio wanted to use the game to kill me and Kay. That's why they broke the bracelet.
I think so. It makes the most sense.
How can you be so calm? In 5 minutes, you're gonna be...
Go on ahead, Sigma. You have those bracelets Kay gave you, right? You should be able to get through the secondary door with those. So just...
Fuck that. You know I can't just ditch you guys like that.
But if you stay here, you'll...
You think I don't know that? But what kind of a monster am I if I just leave you here to die? Oh, god damn it. This was bad. What was I going to do? I needed to calm down. Just calm down. Calm down and think. There had to be a way to save them. There had...
The first is an anesthetic called Soparil Beta. The other is a muscle relaxant called Tubocurarine. Your bracelet also has a bunch of needles on the inside. If you break the rules, those needles hop out and inject you.
My brother told me about that. Neostigmine is a type of cholinesterase inhibitor. That means it's sort of an antidote for tubocurine. I knew it!
Give it back. I found it, so it's mine.
Of course. The antidote.
The antidote?
I didn't have time to explain. I took off running toward the exit.
Sigma, where are you going?
Stay here. I'll be right back. I bolted out of the warehouse toward the treatment room. I think Dio put it in his pocket. Come on, come on, come on. Please still have it. Sweat was pouring down my face, but I didn't bother to wipe it off. There wasn't time. I dug frantically through Dio's coat until... Aha! Found it. Oh. There's only one dose. The injection gun uses the whole bottle at once. Shit. Can't save both of them.
1 minute remains until chromatic doors close.
1 minute? Shit. I spun around and shot out of the treatment center.
Three, 2, 1. Chromatic doors closing.
Nope. No, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh dear.
Sigma.
There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic Soparil. I blinked and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble, then gave out entirely as I crumpled to the floor. No. I couldn't fall asleep. I had to give one of them the antidote before my bracelet injected me with turbocurine. With every ounce of strength I could muster, I forced my eyes back open. Kay and Phi lay limp on the floor in front of me. In my right hand I could feel the injector gun with its precious cargo. I could only pull the trigger once. Who was I going to choose? Phi or Kay? Now what was I thinking? There was only one answer. Phi. I didn't even have a choice. After all, Kay's entire body was covered in impenetrable metal. I'm sorry, Kay. I summoned up as much energy as I could and dragged myself toward Phi. After what felt like an eternity, I was finally within arm's reach. With no time to waste, I pressed the gun to her arm and pulled the trigger.
Sigma. What the hell did you...
I injected you with neostiffenin. It's a type of cholinesterase inhibitor. It's the antidote to the muscle relaxant.
Why did you pick me?
Because I can't use the injection gun on Kay. It'd never get through the metal.
Then why didn't you inject yourself?
Guess you've got a point. Honestly, it didn't even cross my mind.
You're the biggest idiot on the planet.
Hey, come on. Is that any kind of thing to say to somebody who's about to die? How about something more tender?
No. Screw this. I don't want to live if it means being in debt to you. No goddamn way. I'm not gonna...
Her words slurred and slowed, and her eyes fluttered closed. She was dead, of course. I could hear the faint sound of her breathing, and see her chest rise and fall. Good, Phi's gonna be alright. But Kay... I looked over in his direction. That was when I noticed it. Open. There's a hole here on the back of your head. Yeah, it looks like you insert something. It says open, so maybe if you put some kind of key in there.
You could open up the suit and take the mask off.
Wait. Then he... But when could he have... It's empty.
Yes.
Was there something in there before?
No. It was empty when I found it.
But what if he'd lied? Could Kay have taken the key? How he got in it didn't really matter anymore. What did matter was that Kay had been able to remove his armor. And he had. Holy shit. Then that would mean Dio's killer is... coaxed as much strength as I could from my increasingly lethargic body and crawled toward Kay. Kay, wake up. Come on, talk to me. I grabbed his shoulder and shook him until he finally shifted and spoke.
Sigma.
I just need to know one thing. Did you kill Dio? You weren't sleeping, were you? After I left, you took off your armor. You didn't want to go to the same way I had, so you took the other door. After you went the long way around through the warehouse and the crew quarters, you headed for the elevator. You're telling me he did this all while we were just moving around, kind of? I bumped into Fi and we went back to the lounge to check on you. We saw you. Or we saw your armor, I guess. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. By then you would have been out of it. While we were in the lounge, we went to the treatment room and killed Dio. You must have turned off the oxygen to his pod, although you probably didn't stick around to make sure he died. I'm betting you were in a hurry to get back before Fi and I noticed something was up. Once you got back to floor A, you needed us out of the lounge, so you made a noise in the hall to lure us out. Then you ran around and took the long way back to the lounge so you could enter through the rear door. Dang. Once you were there, you put your suit on again and waited for us. As soon as we found Dio's body, we did exactly what you'd expected. Okay, wake up. Something's happened. You pretended to wake up very disoriented and confused. What is it? Come on, Kay. I'm almost out of time. Did you kill Dio?
Yes, your reasoning is correct. I killed him.
Why?
Because I couldn't forgive him. He took the life of someone very important to me. I couldn't...
Who did he kill?
The old woman.
What?
She was like a mother to me. She showed me how to see meaning in my life.
Wait, are you saying...
Yes, I am. She was the woman who came here when I was 18.
Whoa, hold on. What do you mean here?
Sigma, unfortunately, we are out of time. There's something I have to tell you. I made a promise that you would hear it. Do you understand? This is very important. You must pay attention. You cannot forget.
Forget? It wasn't making sense. I was about to die. How on earth would I be remembering anything for more than a few seconds?
If you see a lion with two heads devouring the sun, remember these letters. M-I-L-K-E-V-O-L-I.
Probably don't need to save this, but still. M-I-L-K-E-V
This will open the second gate.
Second gate? What the hell? Hey, Kate, who told you to tell me this? No, who are you? Show me. Show me who you really are. I grabbed a hold of Kay's mask and tore it off. What? No, that's impossible. That face. It's my face. Goodbye. I felt a sharp pain in my left wrist and my body collapsed unceremoniously. The second drug. Tubo-curing. My vision began to blur and my head felt unnaturally heavy. The world faded away and my consciousness slipped down into the cold, dark waters of nothingness. No credits. We've seen them. Okay, and we speedrunning the end. Look, 2 in one night. And we still got an hour and a half. Gizmo says we can do this one. No, it's cyan green. Yeah, Gizmo says we can do this one. Wait.
Huh?
You only need to search one person.
What? Why?
Because I figured out who did it. I know who did it. The words were out of my mouth before I'd even realized I was saying them.
How can you... There's no way.
Yeah. I met Fi's gaze and nodded, then turned away. I know who set the bombs. That person. That person, you did it. The room was suddenly silent. I've been lied to. Green doesn't work. No, we don't have the clues yet. We have the clues for this one, though.
All right, please pay attention, everyone. You need to hear this. The Atom has finished scanning Alice.
What did it say?
Her results are identical to Quark's. She has also been infected with Radical 6.
On our way back, Fi had gone off to retrieve the rest of the participants. 7 sets of eyes widened as Luna spoke.
Oh no. No! What's going to happen to her?
Well, like I said before, there's only one way to cure Radical 6. There's a special antiviral treatment. Do you know what immunoglobulin is?
Immunogoblin?
It's another name for antibodies. Some people have antibodies that can fight off Radical 6. Those antibodies are the basis for Excelivir.
Wait, what about those pods in the treatment center? Can't we just stick them in those?
Right. I thought of that too, so I went and took a closer look at them. Unfortunately...
They can't cure it.
Correct. They can suppress the symptoms for a while, but they can't kill the virus itself. The only way we can help Alice and Quark is if we can find some Excelivir.
But the pods will keep them from getting any worse, right?
Yes.
Well, then what are we waiting for? One of you, grab Alice. We're going to the treatment center.
As he spoke, Tenmyoji moved over to Quark and lifted his small unconscious body off the bed. Quark shifted slightly as Tenmyoji moved him, and something fell out of his pocket with a soft clink. I bent down slowly and picked it up. Is this medicine?
What?
Well, what is it?
Hold on. There's a name on the label here. Excelivir.
Excelivir! You found it, Sigma! That's the one thing that can cure Radical 6.
Why did Quark have it?
Perhaps he found it earlier.
Earlier when?
We explored the laboratory. It was on the other side of the red door. I happened to notice Quark putting something in his pocket.
He hid it?
Whether or not that was his intention is unclear. I did not have the opportunity to ask, as he collapsed immediately afterwards. It didn't feel appropriate to go digging around in his pockets for it after that. And to be honest, it had also slipped my mind. We were rather preoccupied with getting him to the infirmary as quickly as possible.
Who cares about the details? We have it. Hurry up and give it to him, Luna.
Hey, hold on a minute. What about Alice?
Does it really matter if she goes first or not?
I'm sorry, but I don't think we can do that.
What?
There's only enough here for one person. The only way we have to administer this is with the injection gun. And the way it functions, it uses a whole bottle each time you pull the trigger.
In other words, we can't split the dose in two or something.
Right.
While we all stood stunned, Pi moved. Stepping over to Quark, she quickly ran her hands through his clothes, then stepped back with a frown and a small shake of her head.
Nothing. That one bottle was it.
Do you think there might be some more back in the laboratory?
No. Unfortunately not.
No.
Oh, God.
Just enough medicine for one dose.
Only one person can be saved.
Who should we give it to?
Alice or Quark?
What the hell is this? There's no way we're only going to save one of them.
And what are we going to do?
Do I have to spill it out? Nope, it had time. I'm gonna run that quickly and then we'll, hopefully make more progress on this line. So feel free to get up a stretch, grab a drink, and we'll be back shortly. No, it's okay, Gizmo. We're going to save them both.
How?
Let's, I needed to calm down. Think. There had to be some way to save both of them. It was there, I knew it. IG immunoglobulin.
Do you know what immunoglobulin is? It's another name for antibodies. Some people have antibodies that can fight off Radical 6.
IG replicator?
Replicator makes it sound like it makes copies of stuff.
So it's like a copy machine.
Yeah. Probably copies IG, whatever that is.
Any ideas?
Who knows? Ice cream by the gallon?
Idiot guy. That's me. That's it. I've got it. The IG replicator in the laboratory. It's an immunoglobulin replication machine.
What?
It can copy immunoglobulin antibodies. Luna just said Accelavir is made from antibodies. That means we can make more Accelavir.
Hold on a moment. There is a strange device in the laboratory that says IG replicator on it. Clover and I examined it thoroughly when we were in that room.
Yeah. We never could figure out what it did, though.
Exactly. My question is, how do you know about it, Sigma?
I saw it when I was in the laboratory.
When was that?
Probably when you were looking for Alice, right?
No. Deal was wrong. I hadn't gone to the laboratory when I was looking for Alice. I didn't think I'd ever been to the laboratory. So how did I know about the IG replicator?
If what he's saying is true, then we should be able to duplicate the Accelavir. That would mean we could cure Alice and Quark.
Let's go have a look then. The laboratory, right?
Yeah, no time to waste.
We all nodded. Wait, we can't leave them here all alone. Luna, do you think you could stay behind and look after them?
Oh, of course.
Why would we leave the medical person behind? We should be leaving Kay behind.
I'd be happy to.
Alright then, let's go. It's more of... Kay's not a bad person. Not completely, at least. Technically, all of the people in this are bad people. They've all made stupid mistakes somewhere in the 20 lines we have. Kay's not completely evil, though. I believe Kay can handle if one of them wakes up.
So this is the lab, huh?
Yes.
Where's this IG replicator thing?
Right here. See?
So this can copy the Accelavir?
I think so.
What are we waiting for?
Calm down, alright? Don't rush me. I carefully lowered the small vial of Excelivir into the slot on the side of the machine. An empty vial already protruded from the other side. Presumably, that was where the duplicated Excelivir would go. Ready? When I push this button, it should...
Skip it. Just press the damn thing.
Right. And pressed. I didn't even hear that bonk. Did it play? Did it work?
Have a look. The empty vial has something in it now.
And the vial Sigma used remains as it was. It does not seem to have lost any of its contents.
So, it worked?
That's good. I'ma bonk you instead.
Would have been pretty bad if it hadn't.
Alright, let's get this thing back to the infirmary. I reached down and pulled both vials from the machine, intending to slip them deftly into my pocket. Ah, shit.
What happened?
Sorry. My hand slipped.
You dropped one of them?
Yeah. Just one, though.
What in the hell? What if you'd broken it, you idiot?
Come on. If it'd broken, then we could have just made another copy. Before Tenmyoji could reply, Fai spoke.
Guys?
I was surprised to hear her voice coming from near my feet. I looked down to see her staring intently at something beneath the table.
You see? It did break!
No, the vial's fine. See?
She held it up in one hand, but didn't move her eyes.
Then what the heck is going on down there?
Take a look.
She slid back from the table, quickly and silently. The rest of us bent down to look. Yay! Another bomb! Let's go! We love bombs here. Bomb?
Whoa. Really? That makes two then.
Guess Kay was right after all.
So there were more bombs.
So it would seem.
Was this here when you guys came through the first time?
No, it was not.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, and I looked real hard.
Then somebody must have said it while we were looking for Alice.
Who the hell would do that?
We were all out looking for Alice. It could have been any of us.
No, not any of us. I was back in the infirmary. Quark was still out, so I was keeping an eye on him.
So we shouldn't consider you a suspect. Is that right?
Yeah. Quark's off the list, too.
But Tenmyoji, you have no proof that you spent the entire time in the infirmary, do you?
I'm pretty sure it's Dio. And we're gonna see in about 5 minutes, probably.
What?
You could have quietly made your way to the laboratory, planted the bomb.
That's insane! Listen to yourself! There's no way in hell I'd have left Quark all by himself to go plant a goddamn bomb!
Tenmyoji was still staring furiously at Kay when Clover spoke up.
Hey, what's this thing?
I turned in time to see her grab something from under the table.
It looks like a memory card.
Where was it?
Right under the bomb. It was down on the floor under the table.
Could it have been put here by the same person who set the bomb? There was nothing like it here when we examined this room.
Do you think they dropped it accidentally?
Unless it was left here intentionally, yes, I imagine so.
What do you mean? That doesn't look like a PS2 memory card.
What do you think's on it?
Let's take a look. Could I see it for a minute?
Yeah, I guess so.
I plucked the card out of her hand and looked around the room. Nothing. Shoot. No dice. We'll need to plug it into something that can read memory cards, but I don't see anything here.
So what do we do?
Come on, if I knew I'd be doing it.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes.
Maybe it does look like one. Maybe I'm thinking of the GameCube memory cards. I don't know.
If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Just looks like an SD card to me.
Guys, I think maybe we should get back to the top floor.
Yeah, you're right. We've got what we came here for.
What should we do about the, bomb?
Not much we can do except leave it here. Alice said it'd be dangerous to touch them.
True, but...
Drop it. We can talk about the bombs later. Right now we need to take care of Alice and Quark.
Right? So we'll go back to the infirmary, give them the Accelavir, then head to the Flore warehouse.
Right.
I thought it takes like 5 minutes in order to get back.
This ought to do it. It might take a little while, but they should recover.
Her voice was quiet as she backed away from Alice and Quark. In her hand was the injection gun. She carefully removed the empty vial and placed it gently in the cabinet with the other one. While we were in the laboratory, Luna had moved Quark to a crude cot. They both looked peaceful as they slept. The madness I'd seen on their faces before was completely gone.
Are they really going to be all right?
Yes. The analysis I did on the vials confirmed that the duplicate was real Accelavir. The original was genuine too, of course. Now that they've been treated...
It's only a matter of time before the virus is eliminated.
I believe so, yes.
Oh man, what a relief. I was really worried.
Clover grinned. Agreed. I gave her a reassuring pat on the back.
5 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
They were fast this time getting back.
All right, everybody. We can be relieved later. Right now we need to get to the AB rooms and fast.
Damn. Don't even have time to catch our breath.
Come on, let's go. The Flore warehouse is waiting. Huh? Where's Tenmyoji?
Oh, he stayed back in the infirmary.
What?
Why?
Well, when we were all heading out, I noticed he wasn't doing anything. So I asked him if he was coming with us. And this is what I got.
I'm still worried about Quark and Alice. I think I'll stick around and make sure they're okay.
I see. That means that Phi's only opponent will be Dio.
1-on-1, huh?
Ugh.
That's cool. Nothing to worry about. I plan to choose Ally. You know why?
Because I've only got one BP.
Exactly.
Hello, Spy. How are you tonight? AB game's pretty fun.
If you chose Ally and I betrayed you, your BP would drop below 0 and... well, we know what happens then. I want to win, but I'm not that desperate. You see what I'm saying, right?
Tenmyoji and Dio are a pair. Tenmyoji only had one BP left. Since Dio said he's going to pick Ally, Phi can't really pick anything else. if she does, Tenmyoji will...
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Kay and I are gonna be going one-on-one too, right? Since Quark's still sleeping.
That is correct.
How many BP do you guys have?
I've got 6.
As do I.
This'll be a tough one then.
If one of them can get the other to ally, and then betray that person, the betrayer will have 9 points.
Look, Kay, I know you don't really have any reason to trust me, but...
I know. You would like us both to vote ally, yes?
Yeah.
I agree. If we were to both betray, then we would gain no points. We would lose nothing either, but that's hardly relevant. If both of us cooperate, then we will both gain 2 points, which is much more beneficial.
Right. Okay, good. You're really gonna do it, right?
Yes.
Promise?
Promise.
1 minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
Probably Luna, to be honest. She's the most sane, it seems. Or Kay. Kay's kinda mysterious.
Shit, this is bad. We need to move, now!
Indeed. Shall we?
DOK, Fi, and Clover all took off immediately, heading into different AB rooms. Counting from the left, Dio went into room 3, K went into room 4, Fi and Clover went into rooms 5 and 6, respectively. Who do you like? That left Luna and myself. What do you think about taking the one on the far left?
Sounds good.
With that settled, we headed into AB room number 1.
Thirty seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
It's probably a little late to say this, but... You know Alice is still in the infirmary. So...
You're saying we should pick Ally, right? Since Alice is going to default to that anyway?
Yes.
I know. It's not really fair to betray somebody who isn't voting. Luna's face broke into a warm, happy smile. Not to be sappy, but it was like a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. I grinned back at her before I knew what I was doing. For a minute, the nonary game didn't seem so scary.
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. Alright, let's go have a look at the results.
Okay.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Dang. Neither of them voted ally. Impressive. Expected anytime you're facing Dio. And I guess Alice woke up and quickly went to betray us.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
Oh, hey, look, we get to die again. Let's go. What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. No, that's not possible. How can Alice's vote be betrayed? It was a question I would never know the answer to. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic, Soparil. I blinked and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble, then gave out entirely as I crumpled to the floor.
Sigma! Sigma! Hang on! Oh no! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
Sigma!
No. Why?
My eyelids felt like they were made of lead, but I forced them open. Everything was growing blurry, but I noticed that the door of the second AB room was open. No one had gone into that room. I'd watched them all. And yet, there she stood, an apparition that couldn't possibly be real. Alice. The world was gradually going black, and my mouth refused to form words, but my head echoed with questions. How? Why? What was she doing there? Had she run in at the last moment after Luna and I entered our room? But even if she had, why choose betray? Then the darkness closed over my mind as well, and my questions were gone forever. Dang, can't believe Alice would do that to us. Oh, that's another long line. Okay, it's about ad time. I'ma run it while I quickly go through the dialogue to get to the vote. So feel free to get up, stretch, grab a drink, and we'll be back shortly.
Third.
You know, so... yes.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, welcome back. Betray. Darn Alice.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed.
After all that work we did to save her, she goes and kills Sigma.
Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
Luna and I stepped out of the AB room.
Why? What happened to... It's not fair to betray someone who isn't voting. I thought...
There was nothing I could think of to say. Even I didn't really understand why I'd picked Betray instead. Had almost felt unconscious, like some other part of my mind was making the decision. Yep, Sims moment. Perhaps I'd been possessed by some sort of evil spirit that had moved my finger to the Betray button against my will. Right, well, we should go see the results.
Really? We already know what they are. It's just simple math.
The look in her eyes was more painful than any punch I'd ever taken. I turned away and almost ran toward the projector, anything to get away from those eyes.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Yippee!
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. No. How can Alice's vote be Betray? That's not possible. Alice? She was standing inside the second room from the left. The room that should have been empty. Why? My mind was still reeling. Where had she come from? As I was trying to form a sentence, she began to move toward us. From around me, I heard a chorus of muted gasps. It seemed we were united in our surprise and confusion. Alice drew to a stop in front of me and glanced up at the display.
Thought you'd get an easy couple points, huh? Not so easy when you have to look your victim in the eye, is it? Coward.
Me? A coward? You've got some balls saying that to me after you picked Betray. Why are you even here?
You gave me the antivirus, didn't you? Tenmyoji told me. Thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, honestly.
But you should still be under the effects of the anesthetic.
Yes, well, I still am. A bit. I have a throbbing headache, and I can barely stand. It's horrible. I'm more resistant to anesthetics than most people. A result of my training. I have a feeling Zero Senior knew that. They gave me way more than the standard dose of that gas when they kidnapped me. In any event, a few minutes ago I woke up in the infirmary. Tenmyoji explained what was going on, and I got here as fast as I could.
So you showed up right after we'd gone into the AB room?
Yes. Right in the nick of time, too. About 10 seconds before the deadline, as I recall.
You did that just so you could betray us?
Right. What? Don't I get to do that? I mean, it turned out to be the right thing to do, didn't it? You two chose Betray. If I'd stayed back there, I'd have lost 2 points.
So you're saying it was self-defense?
Yes.
Huh. You're full of shit. Self-defense my ass. You chose Betray because you wanted out. You had 6 BP. If I'd picked Ally, you would have had 9. That's what you were trying to do, right?
So what if I was?
Are you serious? You would have killed me. Look, I only have 1 BP. You were this close to murdering me. Just admit it. You were planning to kill me so you could escape.
Don't be stupid. I knew you'd choose Betray. There was...
Tell the truth.
That is the truth. Why am I the only one getting the 3rd degree here? Look at those results. 2 other people just tried to kill someone.
Fi and Dio.
Yes. If Dio had chosen Ally, Fi would have killed Tenmyoji. And if she'd chosen Ally, Dio would have killed her.
I don't want to be rude, but it looks like Clover and Kay tried to trick one another. Not that it seems to have worked. If either one had chosen Ally, the other one would have 9 BP right now.
I turned to look at the results again. Before I'd only been looking at my own. I hadn't realized that there was only one word all across the roster, Betray. Whatever trust we'd managed to build had fallen apart. Everyone was suspicious of everyone else. Had it been the bombs? Or had it been something else? Whatever the reason, if it kept up, we'd never manage to escape. We'd be trapped in a cycle of 0-point rounds for the rest of our lives. Something had to be done. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Alright guys, pay attention. You've probably already figured this out, but we can't keep going like this. If we don't start being a little more trusting, we're never gonna get out of here. We need to work together. I might as well have been talking to a wall.
My apologies, Sigma. But I need to think on something for a bit. I would appreciate being left alone.
Okay.
I'll be leaving too. Things are getting a little too intense here for my delicate constitution. Sorry.
Sure, Dio.
Well, in that case...
At 2-5?
Yeah, sorry.
Without another word, she turned and left the warehouse. Dio and Kay quickly followed suit.
See? There's your answer. In the end, everyone's just thinking about themselves. So I would appreciate it if you could not treat me like I'm the only villain here. Come on, Clover. Let's go.
Hold on! I'm coming! Are you feeling okay? I was really worried, you know?
I watched them walk away, Clover practically jumping with delight to have Alice back. Before long, they reached the yellow door and disappeared beyond it.
Everyone's gone.
You aren't going to leave too?
No,
Are you sure I chose Betray?
I know, but I still believe in you, Sigma. I think your hand must have just slipped or something, right?
My chest hurt, and when I blinked, I felt something hot and wet prick the corners of my eyes. Luna, I bit my lip. Before I could think of anything to say, the metallic rumble of the doors closing echoed through the warehouse.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round.
Yippee.
Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set limit on usage of the star keys. The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the players wish to open them.
As many times as we want, huh?
Yes, as long as we have the star keys. That means we can keep playing the AB game over and over, too. Sigma? Could you show me your bracelet?
Why?
Do you remember what Zero Jr. said?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically. The pair and solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Yeah, I remember. Let's see here. I'm a cyan pair. What about you?
I'm a magenta pair.
Oh, we don't get to go through a white door with Luna. I wonder what the others are.
They could be anything, I suppose. We won't know until we have a look.
We've got about 80 minutes until the next set of chromatic doors open. So what should we do now?
Everyone else has gone off on their own.
Yeah. Physically and emotionally. I really don't like how this is going. It won't matter how many times we repeat the AB game if nobody trusts anybody else. We'll never be able to get out of here.
Maybe it would help if we all had a common goal. Something to unite our hearts and minds.
Yeah, but we've already got something like that. We all want to get out of here. That seems like a pretty clear goal to me, but everybody chose betray. Including me.
Well, what if we have an enemy?
An enemy?
Yes, a common foe. Like the person who set the bombs, for instance.
After coming back from the lab, I told her about the bomb while she gave Alice and Quark the Accelavir. Yeah, that might work. We can figure out which one of us planted those bombs, then everyone else would work together against them.
Right.
But how do we figure out who it is?
Well, do you have any clues?
Clues, huh? That's right. The memory card. I pulled it out of my pocket and held it out toward her.
What's this?
I told you, a memory card. It was under the bomb we found in the lab. I think whoever set the bomb dropped it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what's on it, though. We couldn't find any kind of memory card reader.
Oh. I guess we can't really use it then. Oh, wait a second. You know what? I think I might have seen something.
Huh?
Yes, I remember. The infirmary. I saw it when I was searching the infirmary with Theo and Quark. There was a memory card just like that one.
Then...
Yes! I think we can see what's on it. The computer there should be able to read it.
Yippee! More lore. Luna and I exploded into the infirmary, nearly running into Alice Clover and Ten Myoji. Quark was there as well, of course, but he was just as we'd left him, asleep on the bed.
What are you doing here?
I opened my mouth to retort, then thought better of it. If I really wanted people to start trusting each other, well, real change starts at home. As quickly as I could, I explained the second bomb and the memory card, and how we'd come to the infirmary in hopes that we could discover the contents of the ladder.
Okay.
Then stick it in already!
Go ahead.
Right. Just as Luna had said, there was a small slot under the screen exactly the right size to fit a memory card. Within moments, the screen was filled with what appeared to be random letters. What is this?
6 rows, 22 letters each.
It looks like the odd rows use one set of letters, and the even rows use another set.
In other words, the first 2 rows just repeat.
Yeah.
Is this some kind of code or something?
It doesn't look random to me. I think there might be a pattern. I just don't know what it is.
I don't see a pattern, but I'm kinda dummy. I don't think it's crosswords.
Was there anything else on there?
No, it doesn't look like it.
So all we get is this gibberish. Hey, Alice, you haven't said anything for a while. What's up?
Does any of this look familiar to you, Clover?
What do you mean?
Have you seen something like this before? Maybe during your training?
Training?
This is...
So you do recognize it.
All right, knock it off, you two. How about you share it with the rest of the class?
Alice sighed and stretched her neck from side to side.
I believe this is an encoded message from a terrorist organization.
What?
They call themselves the Myrmidons.
Myrmidons. For some reason, I felt like I'd heard that name before.
What are the Myrmidons?
Put simply, they're a bunch of thugs who are trying to destroy or dismantle most of human civilization.
So this thing we're looking at, you think it's theirs?
Well, they have a number of different codes, but I do think this is one of them.
Then the bomb?
It was said by one of the Myrmidons, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, I can't say for sure, of course, but it seems likely.
Damn, I have got a lot of questions for you. But let me start with this one. What the heck does that thing say?
I don't know.
What?
How am I supposed to decode it? I don't have the key. Without a key, it would take literally hundreds of years to decode.
What about you, Clover?
Well, if Alice doesn't know how, I sure don't.
See.
Not much we can do then. We can come back to that code stuff later. I've got another question. Alice, Clover, who the hell are you? Why do you know about this code?
That's...
You told me your job was to eliminate enemies of the state or something like that. Just what the hell kind of job is that? I think it's time you told us what you do.
Sorry, but I can't.
Why not?
Because you might be one of them. You might be the person who set the bomb.
That's idiotic. Of course I'm not.
Really? And where's your proof? For all I know, you're my enemy. I can't tell you anything.
I'm not your enemy. I'm your ally. I'm your friend. Just want all of us to get out of here. Just please tell us. Please. We need to find out who did this so we can all escape. But we have too little information. We need your help. Fine. You won't tell us about yourself, then just tell us about the Myrmidons. What else do you know about them? Gizmo wants a stretch, which is fair. I haven't stretched much.
I'm sorry.
Before I could blink, she'd leapt up and run out of the room. Hey, wait, Alice. took off after her.
How long are you going to keep following me?
Until you tell me what you know.
Then why don't you just ask Clover?
Clover?
You already know she works with me.
Well,
Then
yeah.
why don't you...
I wanted to hear it from you.
Why?
That's a good question. Remember the crew quarters, or this garden? We got paired up for 2 separate rounds. That means I've spent more time with you than anybody else here. Maybe that's it. I guess I'm just curious about you.
What are you talking about?
She spun around to hide it, but I caught a blush of red on her cheek. We walked down the path where it ended, next to the pond. Boy, we haven't been here in forever. What was it, the first room that we went to? Or first line we did? I stayed silent. Alice sat down on the bench. We gazed at the smooth surface of the pond for several long minutes before she began to speak.
You don't hate me?
What? Why?
I tried to kill you.
You mean in the AB game?
Yes. I was so scared. Who wouldn't be? Kidnapped and locked up, forced to play some sort of bizarre game. And then we found that bomb. I know I probably sounded calm, but as soon as we found that thing, all I wanted to do was run away from it as fast as I could. Things just went downhill from there.
What do you mean?
I remember hearing that Quark had collapsed and running to the infirmary with everyone else. When I got there, I realized I couldn't understand what anyone was saying, and everything looked... I don't know how to describe it. It was like watching a video on fast forward, only it was real. Then I started to feel like... It's hard to explain. I guess you could say I didn't feel like I was myself, and it only got worse.
That was probably the Radical 6.
Yes, I think so. I don't remember much after that. But when I woke up in the infirmary, suddenly all that fear was back. So all I could think about was getting out of this place as fast as I could. It never even crossed my mind that it could kill you. God help me, even if it had, I don't think I would have cared. See? I'm horrible. You hate me, don't you? Just do it!
What? Do what?
Kill me! Get it over with!
What the hell, Alice? I'm not going to kill you. I don't even hate you.
You're lying! I could have killed you! I would have killed you!
Come on, calm down. No one's killing anyone. A single tear rolled down Alice's cheek. Then another and another, leaving shining lines across her face. When I reached out, I saw her tense just slightly. Slowly, I brushed my thumb across her cheek and off, taking her tears with it.
Why are you doing this? You know, you kind of remind me of my father.
That's who you were after, right? The people who killed your dad?
Yes.
Did they have anything to do with the Myrmidons?
Will you promise not to tell Clover that I cried?
Come on.
If you keep your mouth shut, I'll tell you what you want to know. About myself. And about the Myrmidons. Deal?
Sure. My lips are sealed.
Really?
What, crying? I don't remember any crying.
Good. All right, then.
Alice took a deep breath and began. Whoa. Dang, is that a Protata? Welcome in, Raiders. Hope you had fun with Tada. Tada's great at gaming. I bet. Amazing at Overwatch 2. How was stream, Tada? Did you win lots of games? I see a pro Papa Switch too. Dang, look at you go. My father is Egyptian, but my mother is French. They met while my mother was in Egypt on vacation and married shortly thereafter. When I was 3, we all moved to the US. My father was a scientist and his field was cloning. He was recruited by an American lab, which was why we moved. Both of my parents had used English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to life in the United States. Okay, Ted, good luck with your games. Thanks for the raid. Very kind of you. By my 9th birthday, we'd been there for 6 years. That was when it happened. In the middle of the day, my mother showed up at school. Her eyes were red and puffy, but she didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there were several policemen there to meet us. My father had always been a very punctual man, and when dinner time came and went with no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned the truth. My father's lab had been attacked by terrorists, and he had been kidnapped. For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me by herself. I didn't realize it then, but it must have been incredibly difficult for her, as a single mother alone in a country where any relatives were a transatlantic flight away. She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away. In every line of her face I could see exhaustion and loneliness. As much as I missed my father, it was those moments that made me wish more than anything that he'd never been taken. Fortunately, I was an excellent student and did especially well in math. I earned a full-ride scholarship straight out of high school and spent the next several years studying. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping that they might have the resources to help me look for my father. I was immediately assigned to the Special Office of Eternal Security. Their purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state. I could tell my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization that had taken my father was none other than the Myrmidons, although at the time that name didn't mean anything to me. They were suspected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning techniques to copy their most useful members and expand their ranks. There's a lot of cloning going on in this game. The Myrmidons apparently believed that they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Now at last I knew the reason for my father's abduction. The commander of the Myrmidons is a man named Left. We know his name and his gender, but not his appearance or his age. The Myrmidons are closely associated with a cult known as Free the Soul. We believe that Free the Soul provides their funding. But trying to pin any kind of misdeeds on the cult's leader, a man named Brother, is like trying to nail Jello to a wall. Brother is supposed to be fairly advanced in years, and rumors say he's so old he can't even get out of bed. Unfortunately, his mind seems to be as sharp as ever. that point, I hit a wall. I knew the Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, but that was all I could learn about them. Then one day I got a tip that some of them were hiding in a building in the Nevada desert. I headed out immediately. On the way there, my car had some engine trouble and stalled out. I was trying to decide what to do when an SUV appeared out of nowhere. I'll give you one guess who was behind the steering wheel. Clover. That was the first time we met. There were 4 other people in the car with her, and when I asked them what they were doing, I got what was just about the last answer I'd expected. They told me they'd been locked up inside of the very building I'd been on my way to investigate, and that they were currently in pursuit of the people who had kidnapped them in the first place. My priorities shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced them to allow me to come along. My hope was to find the people they were chasing, who I was certain were Myrmidons. In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. In fact, I still don't know where they might have gone. Eventually, I took Clover and her companions to the SOIS headquarters. We decided that involving the police would only complicate things. After some questioning, it was determined that the people who had instigated this particular event were not connected to the Myrmidons. We did, however, discover that the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years prior was connected to Free the Soul. There was also a 6th person in the SUV, although they weren't riding in it per se. A middle-aged man, who I'll just call H for now, had been bound and placed in the trunk. According to the other 4, he had been behind the disappearance of the children 9 years earlier. We also learned that his pharmaceutical company, a major player on the world stage, was effectively controlled by Free the Soul. More specifically, I suppose H was a member of Free the Soul, and very committed to their cause. So why had he kidnapped all those children? Apparently had been part of an experiment designed to test the abilities of certain people to access what's called the morphogenetic field. I don't imagine you've ever heard of it before, so I'll try and give you a quick rundown. Simply put, these people can access a sort of field that allows their consciousness to resonate with the consciousness of certain other people. To be honest, it might be simpler to just call it telepathy. The SOIS had heard of this particular ability before and had actually used it in a number of investigations, so I wasn't surprised to learn of its existence. I was shocked, however, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by a member of Free the Soul. If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. The thought of him discovering a way to control and harness that power was terrifying. Okay, that's about ad time. I'ma run that quickly, so feel free to get up, stretch, grab a drink, and we'll be back shortly. Alright, welcome back. It wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip about the Myrmidons crossed my desk. This time it claimed that the Myrmidons intended to launch a large-scale biological terrorist attack. My bosses decided that we needed more agents to deal with a threat of that magnitude, and Clover was recruited. Because she'd been a test subject in H's experiment, we knew she had the ability to access the morphogenetic field, and we wanted to put that ability to use. After several months of training, she was sent on her first mission. She would be tasked with the infiltration and investigation of a Myrmidon cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. I hoped that our investigation might also give me a lead on my father's whereabouts. At last, I had a chance to find out what had happened to him. I wouldn't let that chance pass me by. Perhaps that was what kept me from noticing the truth. The whole operation was a trap. The lab was fake, and Clover was captured almost immediately. I got there as fast as I could, but when I arrived, the building was only an empty shell. All of the conspirators who had pretended to be researchers and the like had already fled. I searched frantically for Clover until at last in a basement room I found her. She had been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. Oh. It was my father. He looked as if he'd just been dumped there, and when I got to him, his body was already cold. He was covered in dark, ugly bruises. It wasn't until later that I learned he had died from ruptured organs and internal bleeding. They had beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been captured, a Myrmidon in a mask had come to visit her. He'd said that unless she wanted to end up like my father, she would leave them alone and tell her masters at the SOIS to do likewise. In retrospect, they must have known who I was, and who my father was. That was why they'd killed him. Perhaps they thought they were sending a message to me, or that once he was gone I'd lose my reason for chasing them. They were very, very wrong. I took Clover with me and left. I tried to console myself with the fact that I had at least been able to save her. Sometime later I received a call from the coroner. He told me there was something I needed to see. There in the morgue was my father, cold and pale on a steel table. I could barely stand to look at him, but the coroner insisted. On his arm were 2 rows of numbers comprised of 8s and 9s. It took me a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them into his own skin. On his chest was another message, but they were letters this time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. I love you, Alice. I broke down crying, right there in the morgue. They were the first tears I'd shed since the operation had started. There was no stopping them. There would be no forgiveness. Not for the monsters who'd put my father through this. They destroyed my family. I would make them pay, even if I had to die to do it. That night, I made a promise to myself. I would avenge my father. It didn't take long to figure out that the numbers he'd written were latitude and longitude. They pointed to a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building. Further investigation revealed that it was the mother lode we'd been looking for, the headquarters of the Myrmidons. I think my father must have known how things would turn out. Knowing he was going to die, he'd written the directions to our enemy's fortress on his own body. He'd sacrificed too much for me to waste this opportunity with recklessness. This time our operation would succeed. This time, I wouldn't let my excitement put Clover or any of my other agents in danger. So we took our time, we gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally, we were ready. December 25th, 2028 was going to be the day we finally set foot inside the Myrmidon stronghold. But then on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation was scheduled to begin, a man in a gas mask appeared. So you inhaled that gas, passed out, and woke up here in the AB room?
Yes. Well, there it is. Everything that's happened with the Myrmidons and me. I left a few of the details out, of course, but you get the idea.
Trying to think about what I said earlier, Gizmo. Sigma wasn't cryo-froze. He's a clone. We already know this at this point. Who else could have been froze? Ghost. I mean, you saw Kay's face. Yeah. Thanks. She gave me a sad sort of smile and stood up.
We should go back.
Not yet. Your story explained a lot, but there's still one big question.
Which is?
Who here is a Myrmidon? One of us planted the bombs. Why do you think it's an illusion? And based off the code we found, it's pretty clear that the person is a Myrmidon. Right?
Yes.
Okay, but then this line that we're on, when he died, he got hit with the same thing, but saw Alice fully. Each time he's been injected by the bracelet, he's been able to see pretty clearly. It's a little fuzzy, but he can still see. And I agree that we need to figure out who they are.
What do you propose we do?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Do you have any clues?
Clues? Well, if I could decrypt that code, it might tell us something, but...
How can we do that?
I told you. We need a key. Without that, it's pointless.
What's a key?
A key is a key. It allows you to sort of unlock a code. Myrmidons usually use this huge string of numbers as a key.
Wait, a long string of numbers? Could that be... I'm not gonna read out those numbers. Long string of numbers.
What the hell?
I was almost as surprised as she was. The numbers had just kind of appeared in my mind, and I was saying them before I knew what I was doing. Alice looked at me incredulously, and I stared back.
Where did... Wait, can you say that again?
Sigma got really good memory, by the way.
That's 198,449,351 to the third power.
What?
That number you just told me. Prime factor decomposition on that number gets you 198,449,351 to the third power.
Talking about reducing an integer to a series of prime numbers that you multiply together to get it, right? Like if you have 30, then you'd get 2 times 3 times 5, right?
Exactly. You probably learned that in junior high, right?
No. Over my head. So you're saying that that number is a prime. And if you multiply it by itself 3 times, you get that bigger number.
Yes.
Don't tell me you just did all of that in your head.
I did do all of that in my head. Simple mental arithmetic.
Simple. What? No way. That's impossible.
I told you. I'm better at math than most people.
That's not better at math.
Look at you. You just recited a huge string of numbers. That seems pretty astounding, too. Where did you find that number anyway?
I didn't know what to say. What would I tell her? That it just came to me?
Can't tell me, huh? Fine. I'm pretty sure that's the key to the code, though. I know the Myrmidons use prime factors for their keys. And there aren't a lot of 25-digit numbers that turn out to be the third power of a prime number. I think there's a very good chance that number you memorized was specifically created by someone.
Could you explain that with small words?
Well, look at the prime factors of your number. 198,449,351 to the third power. I think that's our hint for cracking the code. You still don't get it? Try to remember the code we saw in the infirmary. What did it say on the monitor?
I think the first row was those letters.
And the second row?
Sigma got too good of memory. I think. Then they just repeat.
Wow, you've got a pretty impressive memory. We could really use someone like you back at the...
Well, keep going. How do we decode that?
You use 198,449,351 to point you to the right letters.
How do we do that?
Well, the first number is 1, so take the first letter. The next number is 9, so go 9 letters over from the first one. Then 8 from that one.
I hope you do this all on your own, because that's a whole lot of work.
Just keep going until you get something. Make sense?
Sure. I ran over what she'd said in my head. The prime number Alice had given me was that number. You're gonna make me do it. So what would we get if we picked out letters like she'd explained? The first letter would be C from the top left. Then you'd move 9 to the right, which would give you O. Then 8 more to the right. Eventually we'd get a word. And that word was... Yay! Oh, I have 6 chances and it's gonna kill me. I'm done with this one. 19844. Nine 351. Will I solve this in 5 minutes? Probably not. 19844. Make sure I put this down. 9351. Okay. The code sheet won't be displayed when you input your answer, so it would be wise to solve it now. Yep. Oh, so it's not gonna show this? Okay then, sure. That's great. C. O. M. What is that? A P? Yeah. Hell. Wait. I'm dummy. How the heck? From the P is 9. Assuming I did it right. No, No, don't delete it. I need to move these over there. This isn't hell. Wow, complete. Wow, completed. I did it. Completed. That's it. That's the answer.
Completed? Are you sure?
Yeah. I did exactly what you told me to do. And the word I got is completed. Well, actually, it's completed, completed, completed. The code and the letters repeat every 2 lines. It just repeats.
Well, I can't remember the code like you can, but if you're certain, I believe you.
I'm definitely certain.
All right, then. I wonder what completed is supposed to mean, though.
What? Aside from the obvious, you mean? I'm guessing here it means mission complete. So that's what the transmitter was for.
Huh? What are you talking about? What transmitter?
I barely even heard her. Suddenly, my mind was full of memories that hadn't been there a moment before. It was like a wave had washed away the sand, revealing a bed of precious gems underneath.
Holy Father, Holy Brother, Holy Master, my sacred mission is at last complete. With these 2 hands, mankind is saved. I am your will made flesh. In your name, I give thanks.
Damn it, why hadn't I realized it before? I could remember a series of numbers, but not this. At least I remembered it now. Tio was a member of the Myrmidons. Not just any member, he was their leader. That meant he had to be the one who planted the bombs.
Hey, are you listening to me?
Okay, as much as I want to continue, I do have to go to work. We did get 2 more done. And we're making progress here. One of these lines has to extend. We still have a escape room. We're only 40 hours into it. And thanks for hanging out. Who live? I can raid this nerd. Okay. thank you guys for hanging out. No schedule says Final Fantasy tomorrow, but I'm too invested into this now. So we're gonna do another Zero Escape stream. Hopefully we can finish off another ending or two. And maybe next week we'll finish it completely? Maybe. We'll see. Let's see. Vera and Tata, I know you're both gone, but thanks for the braids. Ghost, you're a nerd. Ghost, this is for you. Get bunked. Yes, Nered. Okay, but I'm ahead send us off, so thank you all for hanging out. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, evening, afternoon, morning. And I'll see you guys next time.
This game already has enough bugs.
I just mean I'm hoping that what comes out of it for the horse